8:40 this evening Eastern Time, TWA Flight 800, a 747 jumbo jet bound from John F. Kennedy Airport in New York for Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris, exploded in midair over the waters off Long Island. There were 249 passengers on board and a crew of 32, 281 people altogether. And the Coast Guard, at this hour at least, is reporting no survivors. A Navy P-3 rescue plane is flying over the crash site and has been dropping life rafts into the water. The Coast Guard has 3 of its cutters at the crash site and 6 helicopters flying overhead. Eyewitnesses report seeing explosions in the air. One witness described the scene as a big fireball with pieces coming off it. TWA's Flight 800 had left JFK Airport in New York just minutes before and was reportedly still climbing to altitude when the explosion occurred. The 747 again was bound for Paris. That is what we can report with certainty. The Coast Guard has already recovered a number of bodies. As you can imagine, the Coast Guard is so engaged in the rescue effort that there are no accurate numbers available. But already, the fact that no survivors have been found and that the plane exploded thousands of feet in the air makes the possibility of survivors remote. It is at this point, and we want to be careful about clearly spelling out what is known and what is speculated, it is at this point that we begin to enter the realm of speculation. An FAA source has told ABC News late this evening that there was no distress call from TWA's Flight 800. Under those circumstances, said our source, there are only 2 things that could have caused the plane to explode in midair: an explosive device, that is, a bomb, or collision with another aircraft. There are, however, no reports yet of another aircraft being involved. In the event that a bomb was involved, the FBI will immediately take over control of the investigation. The rescue operation, of course, is already underway. Coast Guard and Navy vessels and aircraft are at and over the scene. Once again, TWA Flight 800, bound from New York's JFK Airport to Paris, exploded off the coast of Long Island at 8:40 this evening with 281 on board. There are no reports of survivors. The Coast Guard is running the operation from its headquarters in Boston, from the 1st Coast Guard headquarters in Boston, and joining us from there is Coast Guard Petty Officer Tim Panovic. Petty Officer, can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can.
All right, sir. You were listening to what I was saying. Please, at this stage, inaccuracies are inevitable. If you heard any, start off by correcting me.
Right. We basically sent every available unit to the scene. Our original report was 4 helicopters. That's from Air Station Brooklyn and Cape Cod. Cutters on scene. About 4. There were more headed larger cutters, 270-foot cutters, which probably won't arrive until sometime tomorrow morning.
Are you actually getting reports from the scene? And when I ask that question, it may not be quite as stupid as it sounds. I would imagine they're so involved in the search and rescue operation. Are they feeding you information at all?
Right. They're just so wrapped up in the process of searching out there in the night that it's hard to get any update of what's going on. Just that they are on scene and the operation is underway.
They don't have any survivors yet, though, do they?
We have no reports of that at this time.
And have they? Are they still recovering bodies? Do you know?
I haven't gotten a latest update, but there were no report of any survivors.
Just explain to me for a moment, why is the operation being run out of Boston? That can't be the closest Coast Guard station, is it?
No, the nearest would be in Moriches on Long Island. The 1st District Command Center is here in Boston, and that is, we're in charge of from Maine to New Jersey.
All right. Can you add anything in terms of facts to whatever it was you heard me report at the beginning?
Basically, we're out there conducting a search and rescue operation, helping if we, looking for any survivors if there are any, and it's a nighttime operation, so it's just very, it's difficult right now.
How far off the coast is it?
It's about 10 to 15 miles south of Moriches.
Do you have any indication as to what the altitude of the aircraft was when it exploded?
No, we don't have any reports.
We have a disturbing look this morning at the former Marine who ambushed officers Sunday in Baton Rouge. Surveillance video shows a heavily armed Gavin Long looking for targets. Hundreds of people joined families of the 3 killed officers last night in a vigil outside a Baton Rouge church. David Begnaud is at police headquarters with new details on how the attacker was brought down. David, good morning.
Gail, good morning. It is being called a remarkable shot. A member of the Baton Rouge SWAT team fired from more than 100 yards away. We're told that bullet flew through at least one structure and hit the gunman, Gavin Long. One shot, and it was lethal. The gunman had 3 weapons, a rifle in his hand, a handgun at his side, and another rifle in the rental car that he picked up in Missouri and drove nearly 800 miles to Louisiana.
A man taking cover in his truck recorded the unfolding chaos on his cell phone. Chilling surveillance images show the gunman, Gavin Long, clad in a short black shirt. His face was covered. He was carrying an IWI Tavor SAR 5.56 caliber rifle.
Cold, calculated, articulate in his manner.
Long shot the first 2 officers next to a beauty supply store, and then he took aim at a 3rd officer as he rushed to the scene. As Long went around the back of a building, he shot a sheriff's deputy who left his cover to run to one of the wounded officers. Long then fired his gun twice at the wounded officer to make sure he was dead, before moving toward a parking lot. There, Long shot 2 more law enforcement officials before being gunned down by a SWAT team. 3 officers died in the ambush.
Were your 2 officers wearing any type of body armor?
Both officers were wearing body armor.
Sheriff?
Same here.
Your deputy had body armor.
With the type of weapon that perpetrator had, unless you were wearing a steel plate in the vest, it's not going to stop that higher caliber weapon.
He made it easy to come to work every day.
Marcus Tillman is the former law enforcement partner of 32-year-old Montrell Jackson, the youngest officer killed.
He just wanted peace. He wanted everybody to be treated fairly. He wanted peace, and that's it.
East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff Sid Gautreaux watched the surveillance footage that showed the shooter's methodical rampage.
To see the callousness, the just total determination of this individual to not just incapacitate, but completely take out those officers. Very chilling.
The flags at the White House are at half-staff in honor of the victims this morning. This is the 3rd time this month the president has lowered the flags, and it is the 2nd time in just 2 weeks that it has been done for a police-targeted shooting. Nora, 2 of the officers who were shot but survived have already been released from the hospital. A 3rd officer is still in critical condition.
Too many times. Thank you so much.